It starts with silence, no cameras, no whispers, just the sound of heels on marble. The courtroom is colder than normal, not due to air conditioning, but because everyone understands what is going to happen. Years of hearsay, interviews, and promises not kept have led to this. Meri Brown is going to talk, for the first time, under oath. Christine quietly sits in the gallery, hands folded, observing. Janelle looks toward the door a few times every few seconds, and Cody doesn't even look up. He is staring down at the table like a man practicing his regret. When the doors to the courtroom open, there is no fanfare, just one woman in a charcoal gray coat, her eyes sharp but heavy. She isn't the Meri the world remembers. No long curls, no rehearsed smiles. She looks free. As she takes her seat beside her attorney, the judge adjusts his glasses. "This hearing," he says, voice echoing, "will address the petition submitted by Mrs. Meri Brown regarding the misrepresentation of financial, emotional, and contractual obligations tied to Brown Family Holdings LLC." The room holds its breath. Mary's hand trembles slightly as she places a small leather-bound notebook on the table. Inside it, years of notes. Conversations, emails, things she was instructed to forget. But not today. Because today, Meri Brown isn't here to apologize. She is here to be honest. And as she leans into the microphone, her voice is even but weighed down. "For a long time," she starts, "I let everyone else tell my story. That is a wrap now." The first gasp is from the back, a reporter with Flagstaff Times. Christine's eyes widen. Robin squirms uncomfortably, because they all know what is about to come next. Mary's truth isn't only about hurt. It is about betrayal, cash, and the night Cody did something she never forgot. The camera would go black right here if this were a TLC show, but in real life, there is no commercial, only quiet. Before the storm. The courtroom is still holding its collective breath when Meri opens the notebook. It is tiny black leather, worn around the edges, the kind of journal that is easy to miss, the kind of journal you hide because you know what it contains could burn everything to ashes. She flips past the first several pages slowly, her hands steady now. Her lawyer tilts slightly toward her, but she doesn't require instruction. She has known her response for years. The judge nods. "Mrs. Brown, you may continue." Meri clears her throat gently, then reads. "The 12th of November 2019, Cody told me he'd finally moved on emotionally. He said the cameras made it more difficult for him to deceive. He said I was only valuable when I was quiet. A pin would fall and reverberate in the chamber." Christine keeps her eyes down. Robin stares ahead, face empty, but her jaw clenches. Cody doesn't stir. Meri turns the page over again. "He threatened to release the Vegas file if I didn't sign over the house, that nobody would believe me if I came forward. That America loves Robin now." She puts down the paper. Whispers break out throughout the gallery. One reporter from Reality Digest mouths the phrase "Vegas file." The judge thumps the gavel once. Order. But the emotional thermostat has already changed. Meri has landed the first blow, and she is just warming up. She looks up at Cody for the first time. "You said I'd be nothing if I didn't have this family, that I was disposable. That if I ever betrayed the image, the show would drop me." Her voice cracks, barely. "But what you forgot, Cody, is that I never needed the show. I just wanted the truth." And then she pulls out something else, a manila envelope with a red sticker that reads "Confidential." "This," she says, holding it aloft, "is the Vegas file, but not the one Cody threatened me with. The one he never sought, and yet found." A murmur that builds like a wave. Robin's mouth opens. Janelle edges closer. Christine sits forward slowly. The judge arches an eyebrow. "We will recess in 10 minutes. But if that holds pertinent material," Meri doesn't blink. "It is beyond pertinent. It's everything." Inside the envelope, emails, screenshots. A scanned receipt from 2020 tied to a shadow LLC named Desert Unity Holdings. And a letter Cody wrote to TLC's legal team asking to shift Meri's share of Brown Family Holdings to streamline operations under one trusted party. That party, Robin Brown. The court clerk picks up the envelope slowly, scanning its contents before passing it to the judge. He skims. His face darkens. "Mrs. Brown, This shall be filed into record for immediate consideration. A pause. You might have very well set off a complete audit. The envelope comes onto the judge's desk like a stone into still water. He doesn't say anything immediately, simply turns the pages slowly, reading, a page, another. His brow creases, a deep breath follows, and then he glances up, not at Meri, not even at Kody, but at the courtroom itself. This material, if authentic, suggests possible misrepresentation of joint assets, abuse of trust arrangements, and interest conflict with Brown Family Holdings, LLC. The language is detached, but its impact is explosive. Kody finally comes to life, but only faintly, like a man opening his eyes in a dream he knows he is living through. Robin? She is paralyzed. She pressed one hand against the armrest so hard that her knuckles go white. Meri, serene as always, closes her notebook. That file contains 3 things, she says. A phony LLC, a backdated contract, and an email thread Kody pleaded with me to delete. The judge waves his hand. Let's go one at a time. The clerk feeds the first document into the overhead projector formed in Nevada. Registered agent Benjamin K. Teller, a pseudonym Kody is famously known to have used while scouting properties in Vegas. Purpose: financial intermediary for media-related disbursements. The listed members: Robin L. Brown, Cody W. Brown. On shockingly, no mention of Meri, Janelle, or Christine. Despite Desert Unity being used to manage collective TLC bonuses during 2018, FITWO 020. Christine whispers to Janelle, "I've never even heard of that company." Janelle shakes her head, stunned. Robin finally blinks. This LLC, the judge murmurs, was never disclosed during prior hearings. Meri nods. That's because they created it for one reason, to cut the rest of us out. The next page flicks into view, a PDF copy of a March 2019 contract, signed by Kody, digitally co-signed by Robin. It mentions a content strategy restructuring plan and gives sole managerial control to designees authorized by Kody over all revenue streams related to the brands. They use this, Meri continues, to circumvent the initial TLC profit-sharing agreement. The courtroom whispers louder. Even the bailiff looks visibly upset. Robin's attorney stands up. "Your Honor, we haven't gone over this file." "Then perhaps you should have requested discovery when you were discreetly depositing the checks," Meri retorts. A single sentence from the contract is read out. Future disbursements will be channeled through intermediary channels to preserve brand integrity and public image. The judge peers over his glasses. This is more than mismanagement. This might be fraud. Then comes the moment no one expected, a printed Gmail thread forwarded from Meri's account. It begins harmlessly production notes, but then a subject line jumps out. Subject: Meri's percentage adjustment proposal. The body is short, but the impact is devastating. "We'll handle Meri, give her just enough to keep her quiet. If she ever pushes, use the Vegas narrative again, she'll back down, she always does." Cody W. Brown. The 22nd of March, 2020. Christine gasps audibly. Janelle's jaw tightens, and Robin finally speaks. "That wasn't supposed to be sent to her," she whispers. The room goes dead quiet. The judge turns to Kody. "Is this your email?" Cody's voice cracks. "I don't recall writing that." Meri's eyes narrow. "You wrote it. I simply stopped faking, like I didn't read it." This isn't merely Meri asserting her voice. This is Meri toppling the whole system brick by brick. And it is only the start. The courtroom is heavier now. As if the air itself is paying attention, Meri sits quietly, folded hands resting over her notebook. Words on the final page she read remain suspended in the room like smoke. Cody's eyes glance over at her. Not stubborn, not regretful, simply cornered. The judge clears his throat again. "Mrs. Brown, you said there were verbal discussions pertinent to these documents. You can outline them for the record." Meri nods slowly. "I remember every word." She breathes slowly. The evening prior to that email being sent, the evening prior to the Vegas account being closed, Kody came over to my residence, late. At approximately 11:45 p.m., he didn't knock. He simply walked in. Christine glances in Janelle's direction. Both women are aware of that tone, the tone Meri adopts when she is suppressing herself from shaking. He told me he'd been considering cutting dead weight, that TLC was monitoring the ratings, that if I didn't comply, I'd be left out of the next season. The crowd murmurs. A journalist writes so quickly his pen squeaks. His writing continues. He said to me, "You sign the transfer and let Robin handle the brand, or I'll report you to the network for your online messages." The judge scowls. Messages. Meri nods. He was referring to the catfishing scandal. The one I already survived. The one that I already apologized for, even though it killed me. He leveraged that hurt. For an instant she freezes. Her eyes are shining, but the tears don't fall. He told me, "If you ever go public again, I'll bury you with the truth." She gazes straight at Cody. "But the thing is, Your Honor, that wasn't true. That was manipulation. And I have evidence." Gasps spread through the courtroom. Even Robin blinks. The judge leans forward. "Evidence." Meri opens a smaller envelope, closed with a blue sticker. Inside, a taped voicemail recorded the same evening. She passes it to the bailiff. "Play it." The sound system crackles. Cody's voice echoes in the courtroom, hot, forceful, unmistakable. "You think anyone's gonna believe you after what you did? The show is mine now. You are either with Robin and me or you are finished. Don't try me, Meri. You know what I can do." Murmurs erupt. Cody rises. "That was private. You can't." "Sit down, Mr. Brown," the judge admonishes. "That recording is now on record." Robin buries her face in her hands. Christine whispers, "My God." And Janelle, she simply gapes, fixed but searing. Meri takes a deep breath, her voice shaking now but resolute. "That night, I knew I was no longer part of a family. I was part of a business run by fear." The judge calls for a short recess, but no one moves. Meri's truth has just cracked open the walls of silence. And behind those cracks, something bigger is waiting to come out. Because what's inside that next folder? It is not about money anymore. It is about what Robin knew and when she knew it. The courtroom is still vibrating from the voicemail bombshell when the judge brings the session back into line. "We will now resume testimony," he declares severely, though his tone has the undertone of something deeper, disappointment. Meri sits forward, no longer hesitant, no longer shaking. Her voice is firm, more powerful now, like a person who has borne this burden for years and is finally capable of laying it down. "Your Honor, the voicemail was not the end. It was the start." She flips open another folder. This one marked Internal Communications 2020, Fay 2021, and there, front and center at the top, is an email from Robin Brown. Meri is still unsure. We must phrase the signing statement to sound as though she is resigning voluntarily. If she will not comply, use the wellness retreat video to remind her why this is best for all. Robin Brown, July 2020. Christine makes an audible gasp. Janelle turns to Robin. "You used my footage." Robin is frozen, lips open, flabbergasted into silence. Meri continues. "I wasn't manipulated by Cody alone. I was cornered by both of them." Robin was supportive on camera behind the scenes, though. She was managing the brand, and I've got the message records to show it. She displays printed screenshots, text messages, Slack conversations, emails with RLB, the initials Robin has been using for years while administering online store partnerships. One of them states, "Janelle is too obsessed with her coaching, Christine's tuning out." Meri still retains emotional worth, but let's wind her down before she notices the LLC has changed. Meri hands the court clerk this. That message is dated 6 weeks prior to the brand contract being revised to delete my name. The judge addresses Robin. "Miss Brown, did you compose these messages?" Robin's attorney stands. We ask a halt for verification, but Robin interrupts. "I thought she agreed," Robin says, glassy eyes. "We talked about it all." Meri doesn't flinch. "No, Robin, you discussed it. Cody made the decision. I was instructed to smile it through." The courtroom drops a degree in temperature. In volume even, the bailiff fidgets. "They told us it was about trust," Meri goes on. "But they were shuffling money behind our backs, undefined creating shell companies, constructing power structures with legal facades and emotional shackles." She places one more piece of paper on the table. "This is the form that altered our family's destiny. It is a TLC partner amendment form. altering the recipient of product revenue from Brown Family Trust to a new corporation called Vision Unity Brands, LLC. Only 2 signatures are at the bottom. Cody W. Brown, Robin L. Brown in the small print. All previous partners waive claim through implied silence unless dispute is filed within 90 days. I didn't even know that this form existed until 3 months ago, Meri says, her voice firm. It was hidden in a collaborative Dropbox folder called Roll Edits. The judge holds the paper aloft like it is contaminated. This is deliberate confusion. Christine whispers. Unreal. Janelle shuts her eyes. And Robin, for the very first time, appears frightened. Meri leans back. You can deceive the audience. Undefined you can deceive the cameras. Undefined but documents don't lie. Undefined paper trails don't forget. The judge nods sternly. This court will subpoena Vision Unity Brands and all related records. And with that, the unraveling begins. What began as one woman telling her truth is now a legal avalanche. And the next to get hit, undefined Kody himself. Because what Meri has coming is the ledger. The courtroom lights hum quietly above. Not flickering, but somehow harsher, colder. The kind of light that exposes things meant to stay hidden. Meri reaches into her briefcase again. Your Honor, what I'm about to submit isn't just evidence. It is the proof. The paper trail that documents how this whole family was manipulated from the inside out. She produces a brown accordion file, fat, filed by month. Handwritten tabs delineate years 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. I didn't know what I was seeing at first, Meri explains. Because I wasn't supposed to. That was Robin's task, Cody's words. Not mine. The bailiff takes the file to the judge. Meri stops, then continues. But when I began to go line by line, I knew this wasn't just budgeting. It was control. The judge begins the first section. Inside, account statements from Brown Family Holdings, wire transfers to Shell LLCs, cash withdrawals in odd numbers, payments labeled as media asset storage, wellness content creation, and brand coaching. All signed in Robin's hand. Why is a spiritual family purchasing editing equipment in bulk for a non-existent media division? Meri demands. The courtroom falls silent, tense. The judge leans forward, eyes scanning rows of numbers. Mr. Brown, did you know about these expenses? Cody shifts uncomfortably in his seat. Those were marketing costs. Meri doesn't bat an eye. Marketing what, Cody? We didn't even get to release the brand. You explained to TLC that the rollout was delayed because of family restructuring. A reporter leans in. This is embezzlement with a necklace on. Christine cracks a smile, barely. Janelle licks her lip. Meri flips the page on the overhead projector. A printed Venmo statement materializes. The recipient, C. Wells & Company, an alias account related to Robin's sister. Total sent over 14 months. Fee $96,430. These were wellness consulting fees, Meri says, adding air quotes. Except no consulting ever happened. Robin's lawyer stands up. Unproven, Meri interrupts. The receipts indicate otherwise. She sets down a pile of emails on the desk. All dated, all forwarded to herself from the family Gmail account shared by the family. Robin used my name to cover these charges in the brand sketch. I didn't know about it until a third-party CPA brought it up. The judge leans in, his eyes narrowing. You are saying you were impersonated. Meri doesn't blink. I am telling you I was wiped and then reinstated on paper to legitimize spending I never approved. Then the final blow of the day. Meri holds a digital printout, a DocuSign transaction record. The signature on the business filing looks like hers. But the IP address and timestamp don't match. I never signed that document, she says. But someone did. From a router listed to Robin's guest house. Robin gasps. That is a lie. But the judge bangs his gavel once. Enough. This issue now comes under full forensic scrutiny. Christine leans over and whispers, she forged it. Janelle just whispers, we all knew. We just didn't know, and Meri, she just sits there staring straight ahead, calm. By now, the courtroom isn't full. It is charged. Word is flying around the courthouse. Something is going down inside this hearing. Cameras fill the hallways. Legal bloggers sit outside, refreshing Reddit threads. Fans of Sister Wives swarm TikTok live streams with captions like, "Meri just took them all down, number justice for Meri." But inside, it is quiet again. That dangerous kind of quiet, like a vacuum waiting to implode. The judge leans forward. "We've received a submission from Mrs. Brown's legal team requesting testimony from a third-party witness. The court has checked credentials and affords this testimony full oath." Everyone fidgets in their seats. Christine leans her head. Robin whispers something crazily to her attorney. Cody does not stir. His hands hold the edge of the table. The bailiff pushes open the door, and in comes a woman in a tan blazer and black slacks, hair pulled back, no emotion. Her name, Layla Grant, longtime production finance manager for TLC Entertainment, a direct assignment to the Sister Wives project 2016 to 2021, a name familiar only to industry insiders. Until today, Layla's speech is crisp, professional, as if she were in a boardroom. "I oversaw production, related expenditures, stipend payments, and residual structures for Brown family content. I had no role with scripting, only finance." The judge nodded. "Go on." She takes out a 3-page report detailing payment irregularities from 2019 FATWO 021, Flagsta FF Family Dynamics. LLC was paid more than $230,000 in diverted money that was meant to go towards group housing. Vision Unity Brands, LLC started getting TLC promotional allowances 90 days prior to it being officially registered. Robin Brown appeared as secondary signee on 3 asset bills flagged group expense, yet had only her name on the last property deed. Meri slowly looks up. "That is how they purchased the mansion." Christine covers her mouth. Janelle shakes her head. Layla nods. "Yes, it was diverted through a memo line under Wellness Media Expansion. But no content was produced under that category, and that was a warning sign." Next is the punchline. Layla holds up a printed record of erased internal messages retrieved from an archived server folder marked Brown Confidential. One thread contains a memo from Cody, "Push the disbursement forward. If the network queries, tell them." The women signed off. Meri's already emotionally gone, and Christine will be next. Just keep Robin safe. Layla pushes her glasses up on her nose. That email wasn't intended to be read by production personnel. It was accidentally sent on an open thread to the wrong folder. When I marked it, I was instructed to let it go. So I copied it. The judge arches his eyebrows. "Were you told to silence financial worries?" Layla nods. "Yes. I was informed the brand was story, sensitive, and internal conflict would threaten talent collaboration." Translation in case anyone pressed too hard. TLC stood to lose Cody's camera time, so they turned a blind eye. Robin stands now, ashen, sweating in plain sight. "These are out of context." But Layla doesn't blink. "And then account for why your LLC diverted bonus payments to you intended for Janelle and Meri." Robin gasps and clamps it shut. No response. No note. Just silence. The judge scans the folder once more. This evidence supports prior submitted allegations. The court is now stepping up this hearing to complete fiduciary review. All business accounts related to her will be audited right away. Gasps again shimmer across the room. Christine breathes. This is happening. Meri breathes for the first time in minutes. Cody, still expressionless, still speechless. But in his head, he knows what is coming next. Because the woman entering now isn't with TLC, she is a forensic accountant, and she is holding the receipts. Level calm. "This was never about exposure," she says. "It was about justice. What happens next may determine not just ownership, but who walks away in handcuffs. Because in the next part, Meri won't be the one speaking. The court is about to call a surprise witness, someone who used to manage the Browns' payments directly from inside TLC. The tension in the courtroom has reached a point where even the lights seem to buzz louder, humming in sync with the chaos waiting just below the surface. Meri's words opened the door. Layla Grant from TLC cracked it wide open, but the person stepping up now kicks it off the hinges. The judge nods in the direction of the court officer. "Call the expert." A gray suit guy with a narrow face approaches the stand. No entourage, no smile. Just a briefcase stuffed with spreadsheets and a low-key sort of confidence that states, "I know where the money went." He introduces himself. My name is Daniel Weiss. I'm a court-appointed forensic auditor, certified in financial investigations tied to trust mismanagement, hidden asset flows, and internal corporate fraud. Janelle exhales softly. Christine leans in, whispering, "He's real." And Robin? She goes completely still. Daniel opens his case and begins. I've reviewed 6 years of Brown Family Holdings records, TLC partner contracts, and the 4th of September era LLCs associated with the parties involved. I also obtained banking logs, CPA summaries, and private distributions from platforms like Shopify, Cameo, and affiliate ad networks. He clicks a remote. A large monitor flickers on. Slide 1. Timeline of suspicious transfers, 2018, $62,000, redirected from TLC bonus pool to Flagstaff Family Dynamics. 2019, $45,000 in ad revenue, funneled into Vision Unity Brands. 2020 Fane 2021, $177,000 deposited into an account labeled, well, For All, LLC with Robin as the sole signatory. Christine's jaw tightens. Meri doesn't blink. Cody shifts uncomfortably in his seat. The structure of Brown Family Holdings, according to initial legal filings from 2011, granted equal ownership shares to all 4 wives and Mr. Brown, Daniel explains. He flips to slide 2. Ownership deductions. But something is wrong. By 2020, Meri's share drops to 0.2%. Janelle's drops to 0.5%. Christine's taken out altogether. These were unauthorized deductions, Daniel says. No filed amendment, no consent. The records were retrodated by silent restructuring. Janelle gasps. Christine mutters, "He wiped us out." The judge furrows his brow. Slide 3. Use of funds. The graph categorizes personal spending tagged. Busyness development, $24,000 on home interior design consulting, $18,000 on brand coaching by a company controlled by Robin's step-nephew, $9,800 in legal prep fees before there was any official hearing. Daniel adds matter of factly, none of these were disclosed to co-owners. All of them were channeled through LLCs controlled by Mr. and Mrs. Brown. Robin starts shaking visibly. Her attorney leans forward, whispering furiously. Next is slide 4, a lone line item that turns the whole courtroom on its head. On May 4, 2021, a one-time wire transfer of $47,000 was made from Brown Family Holdings to a fresh account. The account? Burr Equity Holdings. Who is the beneficiary listed? Solomon Brown, 10 years old, minor child of Robin and Cody. Draws in a sharp breath. Christine stands. You invested family funds into a trust for your son, while informing the rest of us we were broke. The judge holds up his hand. We'll have a 10-minute recess. But when we do come back, the court will consider possible charges of fiduciary fraud and misappropriation. Cody is standing now. I didn't know. But no one listens. Because the courtroom isn't just looking for a confession anymore. They're waiting for Robin's reaction. Because in the next installment she talks. And what she says will only make the hole deeper. The judge hasn't even left the bench before Robin stands. Her chair shrieks against the floor, shattering the silence like glass. Everyone turns, reporters, bailiffs, even Meri, and, for the first time since this hearing started, Robin Brown isn't in command. Her lips shake. She is not yet crying, but the storm is brewing. I need to say something, she stammers, her voice cracking. Please, just let me say it before someone else does. The judge arches an eyebrow. Miss Brown, this is strongly discouraged in the absence of counsel. Her attorney whispers desperately at her elbow, attempting to intervene, but Robin brushes him away. They already despise me. The fans, the internet, the family. What is another thing? Janelle leans forward. Christine sits up straighter. Meri crosses her arms, silent, observing. Robin tightens her grip on the edge of the table. Cody told me that it was legal. Cody told me that it was clean. I didn't review the documents. I didn't inquire about the remaining accounts. I believed. I genuinely believed it was rebranding. Her voice cracks. He explained, we're shielding the family. This is survival. He told me Christine did not wish to be involved anymore. He informed me Christine was going anyway. Janelle was beginning a coaching company and didn't care about royalties. She swallowed hard. So when he wanted me to sign things, I did. I didn't read them. I just signed. The room is silent as a tomb. No camera clicks, no murmurs. Even the bailiff props against the wall with arms crossed, face impassive. I thought it was just money. Robin speaks softly, but it was controlled. And the truth is, I let him do it, because it meant that I wouldn't be the one left behind. Meri speaks up now, the first time since Robin stood. You didn't let him do it, Robin. You assisted him in doing it. Robin glances at her, the tears finally starting to fall. I didn't know what to do to stop it. You think I staged all of this? You think I wanted this house, this attention? I was just... Christine interrupts her. Protecting yourself at the cost of everyone else, Robin now cries. Complete breakdown. Cody said if we lost the show, we'd lose everything. He said, I had to be the face because you all were drifting away. He promised he'd make it all right. He vowed he would. She scans the courtroom as if she is looking for a life raft. There was only one problem. Every time something did go wrong, it was on me. Every deceit, every form, every dollar that went missing. And I was too afraid to ask where it actually went. The judge observes her in silence. Did you know about the BWR equity transfer? He inquires. Robin pauses too long. I knew he created something in Solomon's name. He explained to me that it was a tax shield. Something for the future. Meri shakes her head. You knew. You just didn't want to be the one who popped the fantasy bubble. Then Meri stands slowly on purpose. You say you didn't mean for this to happen. Then why did you enable Cody to lie to our faces for 10 years? Robin cries harder, sinking into her chair. Because I didn't want to lose him. And he tells her the only way to retain him is to exclude you. That silence again. That void, that turning point where everything changes. Christine breathes softly. She just said it. Janelle closes her eyes. Cody hangs his head, defeated, but still quiet. Miss Brown, on the basis of your representations and the documentation presented, this court is now embarking on a stage of assessment of financial liability. He addresses the audience. All parties involved will be served with notices to provide complete digital and banking disclosures within 7 days. Failure to comply will be treated as obstruction. Robin just nods, sobbing, and Meri. She doesn't speak. She just returns to her seat, slow and steady. Because this wasn't about revenge, it was about truth. And now that it's out, there's no putting it back. But the courtroom isn't finished yet. Because up next, the most unexpected person speaks. And what they've brought could alter the court's decision and Cody's future forever. The judge is just about to summon the next witness when a slow hand goes up from the second row. Every eye turns. It is Meri Knott. Meri Knott, the first wife as she has been known for decades. Just Meri now, titleless, unhendied, and illusionless. Her expression is impassive, calm, yes, but behind her eyes something steely and final bruise. Your Honor, she says softly, I have something the court should see. The room stills. Even Christine, who had leaned back in exhaustion after Robin's breakdown, sits forward again. Meri's eyes flick toward her, questioning. Meri walks slowly to the bench, hands a sealed manila. The women signed off. Meri's already emotionally gone, and Christine will be next. Just keep Robin safe. Leela pushes her glasses up on her nose. That email wasn't intended to be read by production personnel. It was accidentally sent on an open thread to the wrong folder. When I marked it, I was instructed to let it go. So I copied it. The judge arches his eyebrows. Were you told to silence financial worries? Layla nods. Yes. I was informed the brand was story, sensitive, and internal conflict would threaten talent collaboration. Translation in case anyone pressed too hard. TLC stood to lose Cody's camera time, so they turned a blind eye. Robin stands now, ashen, sweating in plain sight. These are out of context. But Layla doesn't blink. And then account for why your LLC diverted bonus payments to you intended for Janelle and Meri. Robin gasps and clamps it shut. No response. No note. Just silence. The judge scans the folder once more. This evidence supports prior submitted allegations. The court is now stepping up this hearing to complete fiduciary review. All business accounts related to her will be audited right away. Gasps again shimmer across the room. Christine breathes. This is happening. Meri breathes for the first time in minutes. Cody, still expressionless, still speechless. But in his head, he knows what is coming next. Because the woman entering now isn't with TLC, she is a forensic accountant, and she is holding the receipts. Level calm. This was never about exposure, she says. It was about justice. What happens next may determine not just ownership, but who walks away in handcuffs. Because in the next part, Meri won't be the one speaking. The court is about to call a surprise witness, someone who used to manage the Browns' payments directly from inside TLC. The tension in the courtroom has reached a point where even the lights seem to buzz louder, humming in sync with the chaos waiting just below the surface. Meri's words opened the door. Layla Grant from TLC cracked it wide open, but the person stepping up now kicks it off the hinges. The judge nods in the direction of the court officer. Call the expert. A gray suit guy with a narrow face approaches the stand. No entourage, no smile. Just a briefcase stuffed with spreadsheets and a low-key sort of confidence that states, "I know where the money went." He introduces himself. "My name is Daniel Weiss. I'm a court-appointed forensic auditor, certified in financial investigations tied to trust mismanagement, hidden asset flows, and internal corporate fraud." Janelle exhales softly. Christine leans in, whispering, "He's real." And Robin? She goes completely still. Daniel opens his case and begins. "I've reviewed 6 years of Brown Family Holdings records, TLC partner contracts, and the 4th of September era LLCs associated with the parties involved. I also obtained banking logs, CPA summaries, and private distributions from platforms like Shopify, Cameo, and affiliate ad networks." He clicks a remote. A large monitor flickers on. Slide 1. Timeline of suspicious transfers, 2018, $62,000, redirected from TLC bonus pool to Flagstaff Family Dynamics. 2019, $45,000 in ad revenue, funneled into Vision Unity Brands. 2020 Fane 2021, $177,000 deposited into an account labeled, well, For All, LLC with Robin as the sole signatory. Christine's jaw tightens. Meri doesn't blink. Cody shifts uncomfortably in his seat. The structure of Brown Family Holdings, according to initial legal filings from 2011, granted equal ownership shares to all 4 wives and Mr. Brown, Daniel explains. He flips to slide 2. Ownership deductions. But something is wrong. By 2020, Meri's share drops to 0.2%. Janelle's drops to 0.5%. Christine's taken out altogether. These were unauthorized deductions, Daniel says. No filed amendment, no consent. The records were retrodated by silent restructuring. Janelle gasps. Christine mutters, "He wiped us out." The judge furrows his brow. Slide 3. Use of funds. The graph categorizes personal spending tagged. Busyness development, $24,000 on home interior design consulting, $18,000 on brand coaching by a company controlled by Robin's step-nephew, $9,800 in legal prep fees before there was any official hearing. Daniel adds matter of factly, none of these were disclosed to co-owners. All of them were channeled through LLCs controlled by Mr. and Mrs. Brown. Robin. Robin starts shaking visibly. Her attorney leans forward, whispering furiously. Next is slide 4, a lone line item that turns the whole courtroom on its head. On May 4, 2021, a one-time wire transfer of $47,000 was made from Brown Family Holdings to a fresh account. The account? Burr Equity Holdings. Who is the beneficiary listed? Solomon Brown, 10 years old, minor child of Robin and Cody. Draws in a sharp breath. Christine stands. "You invested family funds into a trust for your son, while informing the rest of us we were broke." The judge holds up his hand. "We'll have a 10-minute recess. But when we do come back, the court will consider possible charges." Christine's left. Meri's not. Janelle's questioning things. "We don't have time for this." Robin tense. Then stage it to appear as though they did, just like the coaching retreat reports. Tyler, hesitant. "You are asking me to forge time-stamped approval records." Cody firm. "Number, I am asking you to control optics. You've done it in the past." Robin, "They'll thank us later, when it all evens out." A beat of silence. Then Cody adds, If it ever comes up in court, we'll say it was a clerical error or that they knew and forgot. They'll never prove otherwise. Back in the courtroom, the silence is no longer suspenseful. It's suffocating. Janelle stands up, furious. You faked our consent. Christine doesn't even speak. She just walks straight out of the courtroom, one hand covering her mouth. Meri, she remains motionless as a statue. Until she speaks, and that, right there, is why I brought this before the court. Robin's face crumples. She breathes quietly. I told him it was too far. The gavel comes down on the judge's desk, but the harm is already done. This recording will be read into official record and distributed to the Arizona Financial Crimes Division for immediate inquiry. The judge goes on. This case is now escalated beyond civil matters of property. If falsification of electronic consent is established, it could be forgery, fraud, and obstruction. He looks to Cody. You are now the focus of an ongoing financial probe. Cody says his piece, or attempts to. It was damage control. It was meant to cover, but the judge is not interested. This is not reality television, Mr. Brown. This is a court of law. Outside, the headlines are already erupting. U.S. footage leaked in sister wife's courtroom. Cody and Robin implicated forgery. Bombshell could lead to criminal charges. Meri's evidence sends case into full collapse inside. Cody slumps in his chair. Robin stares at the screen like it's a tombstone. And Meri, she finally shuts her notebook. Not because of fear. However, because the truth has already spoken. The courtroom opens the next morning with an unfamiliar energy. Not nearly as chaotic, but much more intense. Because now, with surveillance footage entered, phony documents being examined, and financial audits underway, the case has turned from sensational to historical. And still, there is one additional witness, one no one anticipated seeing on the stand. The court clerk says, next witness, Miss Edith Palmer. A subdued ripple passes through the gallery. Even journalists stop. Chris Ike whispers, wait, Edith? Meri slowly inclines her head. The housekeeper. She is in her early 60s, small, quiet, spoken. For much of the time she spent with the Brown family, she was invisible by design. She handled cleaning, errands, and more importantly, had access to all 4 homes during the Vegas years and into Flagstaff. But today, Edith is not here to dust shelves. She's here to turn them over. She walks to the stand holding a simple spiral-bound journal. It's faded, bent at the corners, secured by a red ribbon. Her voice barely rises above a whisper when she begins. I never thought I'd be here. I was just meant to sweep floors, not reading secrets. The judge motions for her to go on. Edith turns the journal to a March 2020 page. Robin instructed me not to put anything in the common trash can, said certain things were sensitive and had to be shredded myself, didn't ask questions. One night, I saw Cody burning papers in the backyard fire pit. The courtroom stills. It was just after 10 p.m. He didn't know I was on the side path, but I saw the folders, red and black, same ones from the home office I cleaned weekly. She flips the page. I wrote it down because it felt wrong, but I was scared. She faces the judge. I realize this is probably not something the court cares about. I don't have a degree in law. I am simply a woman who saw too much. The judge leans closer. Miss Palmer, what did you observe? Edith shuts the journal and responds. They weren't working on creating a brand. They were attempting to recreate a family. Edith digs into her purse and pulls out a creased bank statement. One day, Cody forgot his wallet on the kitchen counter. I relocated it to the office. A receipt came loose. Not a receipt of purchase, a bank withdrawal, in big numbers. She hands it to the clerk. The judge reads out, the 17th of March, 2021. Withdrawal $29,000, memo line, emergency content reallocation. He raises an eyebrow. From a shared family account, Edie nods. I never saw that money again. But 2 days later, Robin had an entirely new media room installed, with equipment I was told not to touch. The document is entered into record. The conversation behind the door. Then comes the last entry in her journal, the one Edith wouldn't speak aloud. One night I overheard them, Cody and Robin, in the hallway. He was angry. She was crying, he said. They're going to find out eventually. Meri's not stupid, and Christine's already investigating the paperwork. Edith takes a pause, shuddering with voice. Robin said, Then we control the narrative. We tell them they took a step back, that they didn't wish to be involved, and if Meri pressures us, we release the counselor footage. Christine's lips are still open, but her eyes stare forward. Meri slowly closes her eyes. Janelle lets out a soft breathe, as if holding it for a lifetime. They thought nobody would hear them, Edithy completes. But I did. The judge glances down at her journal and back up again. This journal substantiates portions of testimony, timelines, and financial discrepancies already being reviewed. He faces the court. And because of that, Miss Palmer's remarks, albeit anecdotal, will be formally recorded as corroborating evidence in the audit investigation. Robin's attorney shakes his head, muttering angrily. Cody simply stares at the ground. But Meri, she mouths again. Thank you. Edith remains silent. She only nods and exits the stand, journal still clutched in her hand. As court closes for the day, whispers circulate like vultures. Will Cody be charged? Will Robin flip to get out of it? Can TLC survive this fallout at all? But one thing is for sure, Meri Brown is no longer a lone wolf. Not in reality, not in courage, and not in courtroom, because tomorrow's last witness, a TLC lawyer privy to production contracts, might be the key to the last smoldering question. Who knew? And who sanctioned it? The courtroom is subdued when it reconvenes the following morning. Not because the audience is diminished, but because everyone is aware of what is to come. No more wives, no more family assistants, no more burned receipts or secret journals. Today, the focus is on the machine behind the curtain TLC. The judge addresses first. We will now hear testimony from Mr. Julian West, attorney for TLC Network's Production Oversight Division, at subpoena filed by Mrs. Brown's attorneys. A tall man in a blue suit stands before the stand. He has nothing but a slender file and a watchful look. Not defensive, not yet, but prepared. Julian West is sworn in and sits. Mr. West, the judge starts. You are before me to explain the network's knowledge and participation in any modifications to the financial model or cast deals of the Sister Wives show from 2016 to 2022, right? Julian nods once. Yes, Your Honor. I've examined the internal records filed. I can verify the following. He opens the file. LLC's contract obligations were to Brown Family Holdings, LLC, not wives in individual capacities, changes to cast compensation, ownership of affiliated brands, and royalties on the show needed to be reported to the network. He pauses. But beginning in 2019, multiple contract revisions were filed with digital consent verification attached to only two parties, Cody Brown and Robin Brown. Gasps again. Even with 12 days of revelations, this still falls like a ton of bricks. Christine looks at Janelle. That is it. That is proof. Julian goes on, turning to page 2 of his statement. We have found 3 altered agreements that radically changed residual ownership. All were internally flagged in 2021, but never went up to legal. That was an oversight. The judge arches an eyebrow. Oversight or deliberate negligence? Julian clears his throat. At that point in time, Mr. Brown was the family's go-to person. We took that as word. Meri leans in, voice steady but sharp. Did you ever request that I confirm those changes? Julian meets her gaze, silent. Number Christine interjects. Or me. Number Janelle. She doesn't even need to ask. The response is found in Julian's silence. Julian goes on, voice more guarded now. I want to make myself very clear. TLC did not approve fraud. We were not cognizant of the internal tampering that might have been done. But yes, we let Mr. Brown be the legal representative of a multi-party agreement without necessarily getting input from everyone. The judge shakes his head. And in doing so, you facilitated the possibility that people could be cut out of their income and inheritance, quietly. Julian gulps. Yes, Your Honor. The tension thickens. There was also one email exchange, Julian continues softly, which might disclose the motive. He clicks a button on the screen. Subject: 2021 season street rupture. Streamline proposal. From Cody Brown to TLC Development Lead DC, Robin Brown. In regards to Christine's detachment and Meri's recent controversies on the internet, We suggest altering the family configuration on and off screen. Robin and I are set up to be brand leaders. This will avoid narrative disorientation and prevent loss of audience associated with volatile family dynamics. We recommend keeping Robin and myself as the core unit. The others will be phased to guest status. Reimbursements can be redirected accordingly. The courtroom gasps. Again, this time, however, Julian does not attempt to justify it. This is the email that led to the internal audit in late 2022. It arrived too late to undo disbursements previously made. The judge looks into the public gallery. This isn't just about bad contracts. This is a conspiracy between corporate and personal power, exploiting emotional dynamics as a reason for financial exclusion. Julian concludes, LLC will cooperate in any ongoing investigations and provide all internal communications and revisions related to the financial underpinnings of the show. We acknowledge that our faith in Mr. Brown was misplaced. And with that, he resigns. External cameras flash. But internally, what is most important is evident. Meri was correct. Christine was silenced. Janelle was sidelined, and Robin profited from it all, not because she deceived the network, but because Cody instructed them to believe her one. Last day is here. Tomorrow the court will issue its verdict on the trust, the brand, and the legacy, and someone might not leave freely. The last day begins with a different kind of quiet, not the electrifying hush of surprise, but the hush of reckoning. No one is gossiping. No one is live streaming. Even the press, thronged by dozens outside the courthouse, appear reluctant to speculate. Because what is going to go down today isn't merely a verdict, it is the conclusion of something significantly larger than a show. Alongside, Meri, Christine, and Janelle sit together for the first time in years. No coordinated attire, no contracts, just women present. Ready. Robin sits by herself, hair untidy, face wan. Cody walks in last, slumped shoulders, no swagger to his step. The judge walks in, robe billowing like a curtain descending on the last act. He doesn't tarry. During the last Shasia sessions, this court has considered testimony regarding the mishandling of assets, willful misrepresentation, emotional intimidation, and unethical behavior related to the restructuring of Brown family holdings, related LLCs, and the financial management of the TLC show Sister Wives. He pauses. No noise in the room. On the basis of confirmed proof, sworn affidavit, forensic audit, and substantiation of electronic records, this court makes the following order. Coyote Pass, which was previously owned under Brown Family Trust, shall be equally divided among Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Meri Brown. Shares of Mr. Cody Brown and Mrs. Robin Brown are suspended pending criminal probe. Christine squeezes Janelle's hand. Back pay for the withheld royalties and diverted partnership profits owed to Meri Brown amounts to yuan. Christine Brown is owed yuan in season bonuses that were not paid. Janelle Brown is owed yuan and an award for her forcibly removed LLC shares. Robin's lip trembles. Meri doesn't flinch. Her silence now rings out louder than all the tears ever could. The court has uncovered more than enough preliminary evidence of financial manipulation in conjunction with fabricated digital documents and wire transfers by fraud. The findings are now submitted to the Arizona Financial Crimes Unit, MR. Cody Brown, you are officially under investigation for financial impropriety. MR's Robin Brown, your role is secondary but not waived. Cody finally says barely, I was trying to keep the family safe. The judge's gavel comes down. You protected control, not individuals. TLC will have to make a public official statement admitting contractual errors, and will put all Sister Wives pertinent royalties and brand payments on hold indefinitely awaiting legal resolution. A reporter tweets TLC officially frozen, Sister Wives payments suspended. The network just lost its golden goose. Christine, for the first time, smiles. Not mean spirited, just honest. Janelle inhales as though it is the first full breath in a decade. Meri closes her notebook for the last time and whispers, that chapter's finished. Meri's not in court undefined but that afternoon. The clerk of court verifies. She has filed dissolution documents to leave the trust. She is gone, legally, emotionally at last. Robin wipes her nose with a crumpled tissue. Cody sits numbly, mumbling something no one can hear. And then, the end. The judge rises. Let this be a record. Undefined that power stored up in silence always falls under the load of truth. This court is adjourned. Gavel comes down. Legacy broken. Outside, reporters yell into cameras. Meri Brown investigated for financial fraud. Undefined Dental C cancels remaining sister wives contracts. Janelle Christine Meri win in explosive court battle. Undefined, but within, as the dust clears, there are no cameras. Just the three of them. Meri. Undefined Janelle. Undefined Christine, not as sister wives. Undefined not as reality stars. Just as women who walked away from a man who informed them that they were replaceable and demonstrated that they were unforgettable. They stroll down the courthouse steps as one, no security, no microphones. Just suitcases in hand, lighter, undefined freer. Often, freedom does not take the form of fireworks. It resembles a deep breath in a courtroom after years of keeping it in. Fayoma times justice isn't applause, ding. It is silence. Ding, because